Hey, I'm Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and I'm here with a very cool guitar. This is the very first baritone guitar to come out of the Bourgeois workshop. Now, I like baritone guitars, I like Bourgeois guitars, so this is a very cool and special instrument for me to have a chance to demo here on Peghead Nation. This is fresh off the Fretboard Summit where Bourgeois displayed this guitar. So if you were there in Chicago, maybe you saw this guitar in person. This being the very first baritone that Bourgeois has made doesn't mean it's the only one. These are going to be available in different configurations throughout the Bourgeois line. But for this special instrument, it could be said that Bourgeois went to town, so to speak, with a very cool combination of woods and appointments, and just the overall vibe of the guitar is just very special. Before I get into the specifics of the guitar, let me just give a quick overview of what a baritone guitar is, since not everybody is familiar with that concept. Essentially, a baritone guitar is a lower tuned instrument with a longer scale. In this case, we have a 27-inch scale, which is on the shorter side for a baritone guitar. The advantage of that being that the playability really isn't that much different from a standard 25-inch scale guitar. So some baritones go up to 28, maybe even 29 inches, and then you really get very close into bass territory. And really that is something that you can think of with these guitars. They sit right between a standard guitar and a bass. It's kind of like capoing down, if you can mentally imagine that. Very fun concept, typically tuned B to B. So I have a low B string here and a high B string. Everything in between is standard guitar intervals. That of course changes the chords that might look like a standard chord. If I'm playing this A minor chord, it's now actually an E minor chord. What looks like an E chord is now a B chord, and so on. This makes them beautiful for creating duets, for example, if you're playing with others. Once you can get a handle on transposing in the different positions, it creates instant duets, basically. I play a baritone a lot in my duo with fellow Peghead Nation instructor Doug Young, and it's just a wonderful kind of secret weapon to have in that context. So very, very fun. If you haven't played a baritone, I highly recommend it. This, of course, is a gorgeous example of a baritone guitar. I've already mentioned the 27-inch scale. Bourgeois chose to base this on a slope-shoulder dreadnought body. Typically having a large body is a great thing for baritone to be able to develop that low bass. The company used its original peghead shape. Bourgeois has several different shapes, some of which are more traditional than others. This is the original shape that Dana Bourgeois came up with early in his career, and I've always liked the shape, and the fact that it sort of tapers down also means that you have a nice straight string path to the tuners on there. The tuners are Waverly tuners, by the way, on here. This instrument is built with an Aged Tone Adirondack spruce top, and you can tell by the slightly darker color, the Aged Tone refers to heat treatment that the tops receive, and that really kind of simulates the aging process, makes them sound a bit more vintage-like, so to speak, and also give them this beautiful kind of honey ambered appearance on this. The back and sides are just a stunning set of koa on this instrument, and a beautiful lighter color in the center, gorgeous book match on this. Just super nice, super flamed. I mean, I can't really think of a more spectacular set of koa than what was used on here. Great on the sides as well. So that is the top and the back of the guitar. Gorgeous herringbone purfling, wooden binding. Fingerboard inlay is a diamonds and squares type design made out of bone. So as we've seen with many Bourgeois guitars, it really combines traditional elements with a more modern approach to the subject, which of course in the case of a baritone guitar, the is not that much tradition. It's a relatively new instrument category, especially the acoustic baritone, and so it's very cool to see how Bourgeois has approached it, because different manufacturers and luthiers sort of combine different features, different body styles. I've seen slope shoulder baritones with 12 fret necks. This one has a 14 fret neck. I mentioned different scale lengths, and there are merits to many of these different designs. This concept of the 27-inch scale on a slope shoulder dreadnought body that Bourgeois decided on is very successful as well, and it does create one of the more standard guitar-like feeling baritones that I have played. And for many players, that is really a consideration, to create a baritone that doesn't feel too much different from a standard. So I'm tuned in baritone standard tuning right now, which, as I mentioned, is B to B. And whether you are creating ensemble parts, duet parts, or studio parts, I've used my own baritone, even just to in the studio, to basically record bass lines, which is totally doable with these. You might not even know you're playing a baritone guitar by the time you record this. You might think it's a bass. So it's super flexible for those kind of things. One thing that I like to do is, since I play a lot of alternate tunings, take advantage of going even lower than a B. So if I drop my low E string in what we think of as drop D, now I have a low A. And because we're using heavier strings for baritone set strings, we can do that. And now we have an even lower kind of a tonality, and we get this super rich D-shape kind of a tone. Super fun, super rich. Of course, we're just hearing it straight into our ear trumpet mic here. If I was performing with this, maybe with a pickup, added a little bit of reverb to it, it would just be a huge cathedral sound. And that is really what baritone guitars excel at. It's just creating a tonality that you really can't get any other way, whether on stage or in the studio, and particularly in ensemble context. I think it's just a really great tonal addition to have to your in your arsenal, so to speak. So very cool to see Bourgeois entering this market. I've been talking with Dana about the baritone idea for years, and I'm very happy to finally see it here and to be able to play the very first one. So thank you guys at Bourgeois Guitars for sending this down for me to check out in our studio here at Peghead Nation. This particular guitar is going to Down Home Guitars in Illinois, and we thank them for helping us facilitate this demo. And if you're in that neck of the woods, you may be able to check this guitar out yourself as well. So I'm going to go out and retune even a little bit more. I'm going to go into the dadgut equivalent on the baritone. Always fun to hear a baritone being retuned. Play a little bit more fingerstyle in a way that I might use a baritone in a solo guitar context, and that is something that I also often do, just to bring a different tonality. I may play the majority of a concert on standard guitar and just bring the baritone out for a handful of tunes, and it really expands the sonic offerings that I can have in a solo guitar performance. So again, my name is Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation. If you're seeing this on YouTube, consider coming over to pegheadnation.com. not just for our gear demos, but also our many courses. We have over 70 courses, not just for guitar, but many other stringed and fretted instruments. We'd love to see you there at pegheadnation.com. I'll go out doing a little bit more fingerstyle in this baritone equivalent of dadgat tuning with a low A string here. So I hope to see you very soon, and here we go.